My mother Maud, manager on duty me, embarrassed teen, dash. Okay, so this is about a couple weeks ago. So about a month I got a new job at a chain grocery store. The store is 5 minutes from my house and I generally work most weekdays on the evenings and any time Saturday and Sunday. Why is this relevant? No clue LMAO. So I'm working as a checker, cashier, and I see her in my line. Now, as some of you may know, you legally cannot check out family members because they don't want you to be tempted to give extra money from your register. So as I'm checking someone else out, I see her in my line and I immediately say, while working, yes, bad etiquette, I know, you cannot be in my line, mother. And she goes, shush, I already have my stuff down, focus on your customer. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'll just have to keep reiterating it. So my customer goes and she's up next, and I tell her repeatedly, I cannot check you out because you're family. She repeatedly tells me her stuff is on the conveyor and that I'm her daughter multiple times. I refuse to even touch her items and I stand there saying the same thing over and over. I'm sorry, I can't check you out. So she goes, fine then, I want to speak to the manager. I was shook. LMAO. Like I knew she was petty, but what? So I look her in the eye, pick up the phone. At our store we have phones leading through the store, and ring to customer service where the mod stays. They handle lotto tickets and like selling tobacco and baby products, etc. Me, this lady would like to speak to the manager, Maud. Okay, be there in a second. So we wait a minute and she comes over and she's like, how can I help you, ma'am? And my mother immediately pops off. She will not check me out. I already have my stuff on the conveyor, there's literally 5 other cashiers to BTW, and this is my daughter. She needs to check me out, blah blah blah. Maud, looks at me, yep, that's my mother. Maud, yes, she cannot check you out as that's against the law. However, I can check you out myself. Maud proceeds to log me out of my register, log herself in, and then check my mother out. The entire time, I kid you not, is going, she's my daughter, this is rude, I can't believe this, blah blah blah. And I just about die of embarrassment. Eventually leaves and my Maud goes back to customer service. I would have been fine, but according to someone else in my shift that overheard it, the Maud was talking about the situation to someone else and was going, I can't believe Jay's mother made her call the manager. Bruh. Never have I ever wanted to quit so badly. Okay, I'll tell you that this is when I was around 10 to 11 years old. It was in the summer, and EA, entitled aunt, had told her hellspawn, EC, entitled cousin, that he could sleep at our place since we had a free bedroom as I moved to the room downstairs near the kitchen. EC comes over, and he is a fucking terror for the 2 days he is there. He screams a lot, punches my little sister, bites big sister, calls mum a slag, British slang for slut, and tells me that I don't belong in the family because of my stutter. You are an embarrassment to our family. Your stuttering is annoying, and it makes you look like a fucking retard. Your mum should disown you. Keep in mind, this came from a kid the same age as my Litka sister. I decided to grab him by his hair and pushed his face into the kitchen counter, knocking out 2 of his teeth. I had lost it. My mum ran in while EC was screaming, and she saw the blood. She scolded me for being so violent, and told me I didn't need to take things so far. EC then runs into the living room while he's crying, grabs the TV, and pushes it off the display case. The screen shatters, and my little sister is crying. Big sis wants to beat EC, but she saw the damage done to him by me. Mum called EA and told her that EC shouldn't come anymore, and to pick her crotch devil up. EA is there within 2 hours. EA fucking beats me until my back is purple, and then kicks me in the ribs while I am on the floor, sobbing. Mum grabs EA by her hair and drags her outside, pushing her out the door. She then drags EC out and locks them both out. EA never came again after that, but she told other family members that we were savages who need to be locked in a cage. M. Me LC, little cousin EA, entitled aunt. So my aunt and cousin were over at my house. After dinner I notice that LC is gone. I go up to my room to see him pouring water on my doujin and hentai stash that I keep in my bottom drawer. I knew that LC had been searching deep because I keep them buried under a layer of assorted clothing. Here is the conversation that followed. M. Why are you destroying my books? LC, all innocent, they were rude and my mummy told me to not read them. M. Well, why the heck were you looking around in my room anyway? I thought you weren't allowed in my room. LC, well, mummy, EA, said that I can. M. Getting mad, did she tell you to look in my closet? EA, what's going on? M. Your little kid just destroyed my manga collection. EA, well, if they were inappropriate then why did you own them? M. Annoyed, I am 17. I am allowed to read this. EA, well, you shouldn't have put them in a place where LC can't reach them. Simple. M. These cost money. EA, tough. Context, this happened a few years ago when I was at the park. I believe I was 12 at the time. Cast, M. Entitled Mother EK, entitled Son Me, myself, but you knew that. I was at the park a few years ago. I was going for a walk, cause my brother got me mad for God knows what. I brought my phone, and just started browsing Reddit for memes to calm me down. I was there for about 5 minutes when I noticed a mom and her son. Of course, at the time, I didn't think anything of it. But then the child walks up to me. EK, what are you doing? This kid was like 8, and he seemed friendly. Me, just looking at something. Can I help you? He changes the subject. EK, I like your phone, where did you get it? I started to put my phone away. Me, Walmart. Now I think I'm gonna leave. I start to walk away, and I feel a tap on my shoulder. I see a wild Karen in her natural habitat. M. Hi. My son wants a phone. Can you give him yours? Me, surprised face, no. I paid for this phone myself, and I wanna keep it. M gets a little bit louder. M, but my boy just needs a phone. We can't get him one cause he doesn't like any other one. Just give him yours. I start to walk away. That's when M pickpockets me. She starts walking away with my phone. Me, hey. That's my phone. Thanks to a local cop, my phone got retrieved, and the M got taken into custody for theft. That was my encounter. Sorry it's so short. Just thought I'd share it here. This was about 6 years ago. Some of the specifics are a little blurry. TLDR at end. I had just gotten hired at a call center and it was the first day of training. The company hired people in groups and trained them in groups. I was in a group of about 30 people. We were in a large room with computers lined up along the walls and each of us sat at a computer. The trainer guy stood in the middle and talked to us all. Everything was pretty neutral and boring in the beginning. T was doing the usual explaining stuff about the company and getting everybody familiar with each other. As he would go over things, people would either raise their hand to ask questions and some would just ask their questions with no prompts. Everyone was civil. As T started discussing things like schedule policies, days off and stuff like that, that's where M started making a spectacle of herself and would just pop off with a question. Every question she would ask was prefaced with, "As a single mom." T was good about answering her questions, but I could tell he was getting a little annoyed. After the 10th or so question, justice was served. M, as a single mom, blah blah, do I get special treatment, blah blah, my kids are my world, blah. T, believe it or not, you are not the only single parent that works here. Nor will you be the last. I myself am a single parent. There are company policies that everybody must follow and nobody gets special treatment. That shut her up quickly. I wheezed, trying to stifle my laughter. This happened a few days ago. My wife's a violin player. She's not particularly good at it, but she enjoys playing the violin nonetheless, and I like seeing her happy. She busted the bow a few days prior. It was completely screwed, with the hair broken and the wood splintered, so there was no saving it. And since I work from home, it was logical that I'd go to the local music shop and buy a replacement. I walk in, talk to the guy at the counter about getting a replacement, and I buy one, $14. Really? Simple enough. I start walking towards the door, and then a lady with a kid that looks 10, maybe 11, started talking to me. For some quick context, I'm practically mute. I have an ungodly deep voice and I don't like hearing it, so I try to be as vocally silent as possible. Hello, sir. Me, I stop and turn around with a quirked eyebrow, my way of telling someone I'm listening. My daughter here is such a good violin player, so would you be kind enough to hand her that bow? She sounded really sweet. Me, I bought it, ma'am. And me, it's mine, ma'am. So you can give it to my daughter. She starts sounding frustrated. Me, I bought this for my wife, ma'am, not for you. I start getting a bit fed up. I said give it. She went from frustrated to enraged. The kid looks mortified and her face is completely red in embarrassment, and she starts tugging on her mom's sleeve and trying to gently pull her away. The mom ignores her. Me, the man at the front desk is selling bows if you want them that bad. I forgot my purse. Now give it to me. She holds her hand out. I just frowned, called her a moron in German. I know a few sentences since I'm studying, and nobody where I live knows German, so I was safe, and walked out thoroughly ticked off. Thankfully, apart from a few curses on her end, it ended there. Moral of the story: either pay the $15 like the rest of us or go home bowless.